Well, the battle turns to the public now as both sides in the debate over whether a mosque should be built right near Ground Zero try to gain the support of New Yorkers. It's a contentious issue for sure, and Craig Rivera was there when the New York City Community Board approved the bid.
We're just 2 blocks away from Ground Zero here in New York City, at a site where community members have unanimously voted to approve a mosque being built right on this block. I'm with Robert Spencer. He's the director of Jihad Watch. Robert, what problems do you have with the fact that this mosque is going to be built here?
It is an insult to the memories of the people who were killed right over there on 9/11.
I don't want a mosque on the grave of my son and on the grave of everybody else who was murdered that day.
We understand the anger and the pain, but I have devoted myself to ministering to the pain, to healing the divide between the country that I love and the faith that I practice and love.
Emotional outbursts were heard throughout the meeting earlier this week from the community board that voted to allow the building of Cordova Institute, a $100 million mosque and community center in a building so close to Ground Zero it suffered devastating damage from part of a plane that brought down the Trade Center.
That chance has been blown!
Faisal Abdurrauf, after 9/11, said that the United States has to look at what it is doing to inspire terrorist acts. In other words, he blamed America for 9/11.
The imam and supporters claim that a mosque will be a positive contribution to the city and a path to better understand the Muslim faith.
What better place to teach tolerance than at the very area where hate tried to kill tolerance?
Faisal Abdurrauf is the one who's on record saying that he supports Sharia, which is a system that denies basic human rights. To defend those basic human rights is not fanaticism, it's just simple justice.
Despite the community board approval, the plan to build the mosque 2 blocks from Ground Zero may have hit another snag. For more than 2 decades, the 150-year-old building has been slated for a landmark status. If granted, that could prevent the building from being raised and the $100 million mosque from being constructed. Kimberly.
All right, Craig Rivera, thank you. And joining me now, the founder of the Council on American Islamic Relations, Nihad Awad, and Executive Director of Stop Islamization of America, Pamela Geller. So, Pamela, you're against this. You don't think it should happen?
No, we feel that it's an insult. It's demeaning to the hallowed ground, the burial ground at Ground Zero. It is an Islamic pattern to build giant mosques on the cherished sites of conquered lands. We don't know where the funding is coming from, $150 million. We're very concerned about the imam who at last Friday's prayers said he didn't understand why the opposition was so hostile when our children and our grandchildren were going to be Muslim. So there are a lot of things that people are not aware of. The fact that he said that 9/11 was the West's fault and that Christians were responsible. We feel that in a real sign of outreach and mutual understanding and mutual respect, due to the public outcry, because this has opened up such a wound for the victims and for Americans, that the proper thing, the outreach, would be to withdraw the mosque. It doesn't belong there. It's indicative of a sort of contempt, for the American people. And I'm not surprised that unindicted co-conspirator Hamas-linked CAIR would be for it.
Okay, well, I'm going to give him a chance to respond. We have fair and balanced debate here. Nihad Awad, respond to Pamela's statements. Give us your take on it.
Well, first of all, thank you for having me. Kudos to the people who are approving the construction of this Islamic Center, because it reflects what's best about America, the freedom of religion, the freedom of diversity and beauty of the United States. But the ones you interviewed and you are interviewing now in opposition to the center's construction do not represent America, do not represent New York, do not represent the beauty of what this country has been founded on. The freedom of religion. And also they have based their assumption on a false premise that 9/11 has to do anything with Islam. I think this fear-mongering and this distortion of the facts is the fuel that they have been using to divide Americans among themselves, whether you're Christian, Jewish, or Muslim. The 9/11 attackers have nothing to do with the Islamic faith. They have been condemned by the Muslim community, by Americans, but also by Muslims all over the world.
This is
so
deception.
This fear-mongering,
This is deception.
this fear-mongering
This
and
is
this
deception.
this
Okay,
distortion.
we're yelling Allahu Akbar.
See,
We're gonna have all
I
acts of
requested that we. Unfortunately,
by the
Quran.
I want to
I
thank
did not
Nihad
interrupt
and
her.
Pamela. Thank you both for being on here. Fair and balanced debate. And I want to focus right now on Hollywood losing one of its legends today, actor Dennis Hopper, who died in Los Angeles after an 8-month battle with